Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name's Dahlia. Today we are back on my winter dark academia island working on a new video, and today we're going to hide my shops because they don't go with my theme, so we're gonna hide them. We're going to place a bunch of castle items and medieval building sides and just hide them. So I hope you guys enjoy today's video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Become a member if you want to support my channel. And yeah, let's head over to the area we're going to be working on, which is both this way and this way, because basically we're working on this area over here. As you guys can see, empty little spot, but we're also working on the area over here. Because originally this was actually going to be where I was going to put some villagers' homes, and then I'm like, you know what? This saves me time from figuring out what I'm going to do with my shops on this island, because I knew that they were going to be hidden in some way because they do not go with the color scheme that I'm working with on the island, which, if you can't tell, is like black and gray and white and like dark wood, and clearly Nook's Cranny and the Able Sisters don't look like that, so we have to cover them, which I'm used to doing on some of my islands. I've had to cover a few of my big buildings, but it makes me sad that we can't customize them, you know. It breaks my heart. But I'm hoping, now that we have the Nintendo Switch 2 release discussion happening, hopefully in the near future, that we're going to be talking about the next Animal Crossing game, and they're going to listen to us as fans of the franchise, and are going to give us what we want.
Thank you! It's called manifesting. Look it up.
Which is customizable buildings for every building in Animal Crossing. So here's hoping. Anyways, I placed my Able Sisters here, and then I'm placing the Nook's Cranny on the other side. And essentially what I'm doing on one side is exactly what I'm doing on the other. So I do break apart the footage of me placing the things down just because it's easier. We don't need this video to be incredibly long. There's actually some additional fake building creation that I make at the end of the video that you guys don't see me build, because if you haven't seen, not the previous video I did on this island, but I think it's the one before it, I created these giant buildings that are meant to just kind of be like transition, like placement looking buildings. So I show my creation of that in the other video, so if you're curious about how I make them, I'll list the video for that in the description if you are curious. But yeah, I make just kind of big buildings that are kind of like in this area between this spot and what's below here. It doesn't make sense as I'm describing it, but it'll make sense when you guys see it, if that makes sense. It doesn't make sense. Anyway, we are now working on both the shops. I placed the Nook's Cranny as I was rambling, and now I'm just placing the fencing. I placed all of my custom designs on the ground. I do actually end up extending the custom designs that I placed besides both of the Nook's Cranny and the Able Sisters, just because I wanted more space with what I decided to do. But right now we are hiding the buildings the best that I can. The only thing is about Nook's Cranny and the Able Sisters is that they aren't the same tile wide. The Nook's is bigger, I think just by a tile or two, so I do have to maneuver some items around to make it work. But as you guys can see, I'm placing the castle gate with 2 medieval building sides on either side of the Nook's Cranny entrance. Then we're placing some castle walls along these sides, and then in those little kind of crevices I'm placing the decorative pillars. So very simple. If you're ever wondering about how you can possibly just hide your Nook's Cranny or Able Sisters or museum, this is a good way to do it. What's really nice about having tall items in the game is it makes it really easy to do something like this. Another way that you could do this is by placing the nooks or ables on a lower cliff and then building up around it. It's a great way to shrink the size of the building. Especially if you're looking to hide it. I have done that on previous islands in the past, and it's a great way to do that. So for the Nook's Cranny, as you guys can see, I just did the one castle wall, and then for the Able Sisters, I had to do 2 castle walls, and then the medieval building size, just so that the buildings, quotation marks, match up on either side. You don't have to, obviously. This is just how I'm doing it, because I want everything to be cohesive and like mirror each other on each side. But that's what I did. And then I extended the pathing a little bit, as I said, and I'm just adding a couple more castle walls to complete the perimeter. Now, beside the Nook's Cranny, I didn't really have anything in mind in terms of like a building to go with the nooks. So instead I just did a very simple little sitting area with some benches, and that's basically it. I originally placed a couple of benches as I was like trying to figure out the layout, but I ended up changing it. But before I do that, I did create this little panel thing with the medieval building sides and the castle tower. This is something just to mimic what I had done from a previous video, just to make everything match up. And then I'm adding some cedar trees and some additional things, you know, just some additional things. Now for this actual area, I decided to actually only use 2 benches. I was originally going to use 4, which is why you guys saw me with the 2 benches I had already previously had placed. But this isn't a very large section, but I still wanted you to be able to like move in the area and actually sit in the spaces that I'm, you know, putting chairs on. So I decided to go with the 2 and the 2, and it's like a little park area. Not really a park, but like there's the park clock, so it's like a little like sitting space. I even put the little water fountain, and it's cute and it's nice. And then I threw some street lamps, because if you didn't know, my dream address is going to be set to the nighttime, so I'm trying to use as many outdoor lighting things as I can to make the area look a little bit more like, you know, whimsical and nice, and like so you can see it basically. So now I'm doing the same thing on the Able Sisters side with completing this little section. But what I decided to do here is, because this is like meant to be a university college kind of campus, I thought it would be nice to attach an outdoor kind of like a student store for clothes. Like, you know, like at a university there's always like the bookstore, and then there's like a student store where you can buy like university clothing that have like the logo on it. Obviously this is like incredibly vague, but I still wanted to utilize the dark wood and like the black clothing items that we have in the game, so I felt like they just matched really nicely. And then I also threw like the stacks of clothing on top. It felt like the colors just coordinated really well, and I wanted to use this as like a cute little outdoor market kind of vibe. Very small, it's not very big, you can't really move around much in the space, but it's nice and I like it. And yeah, it beats just creating another sitting area, you know. But yeah, that is the Able Sisters and the Nook's Cranny sections. I'm done with the 2 store builds. Now I'm moving on to those fake buildings. Like I said, don't show me building it, because it took a long time to build it. And as you guys can see, like I'm just struggling to place this gazebo down, because my dumb brain didn't think that I needed to see what I'm doing. Like I had to like have 2 cliffs to stand in the middle of the center between the 2 to have it like sit. But basically I'm doing the exact same building that I did in the previous build, like I said. So if you are curious about how to recreate this, watch that video, which I will link in the description, like I said. Really simple, and these aren't even really viewable buildings from the build that I'm working on, but they're in that transition spot. Like directly right now, I'm essentially behind my plaza and beside my museum. So I'm in that kind of weird spot. You're not even going to be able to go to this section. It's going to be completely closed off. But as you're walking from like one section to another, you can see it. So I've realized this is my first island that I've ever created that is 90% castle items and medieval building sides. So I'm realizing that it takes a lot of these items to make builds. And like it's just a bunch of fake buildings. There's so many. Like if I had to buy these myself as opposed to getting these from Treasure Islands, do you have any idea how long it would take me to make these builds? Like I genuinely don't think you do. But anyways, yeah, we're coming up towards the end of the video. As you guys can see, I'm just making the same building that I did on the other side, on the right side next to my Able sisters. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys.